guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a very special one. We're gonna actually get into a trend. Very unlike me, I know. But today we're gonna try the latte makeup trend. You can see what makeup look I created. If you wanna see this elegant brown tone latte makeup on me, then please keep on watching. Good morning, you guys. I'm so excited for today's makeup. I'm just getting ready for the day. We have a whole day of things planned up. It's way early up in the morning, so I thought I'll just do like a latte makeup kind of a look. Since it's trending, and that's like my comfort zone, so why not, you know? So I'm just gonna prep my face. I just finished my brows. For prepping, I'm using my Rephr moisturizer. What is it called? Light Hydration Cream 2.0. This is the lighter version. Truly speaking, I use this always like a primer. It just smoothens out everything on my face and it gives like a very moisturized effect. I feel like this is such a great base to the foundation to stick onto it and just smoothens out everything, especially with the foundation that I'm gonna wear today. It's really good for oily skin type, and you really need some kind of like a moisturization effect underneath for that. But before that, I'm just gonna go with one more primer, and that's Danessa Myricks Balm powder. You can see how much I use it. There's a huge dent there. I'm gonna just take that and apply that right there in the center of my face. I just tend to get oily and because of my combination skin type right there. And this just helps my oils to stay at bay and gives a very nice smoothing effect on my face. So I'm just gonna melt it down with that moisturizer. Just like that. Now, the foundation that we're going to use is Lancome Foundation. And this one, I am in the shade 355 Neutral. So let's give it a swirl and apply it. I'm going to take like one pump. It's going to be a tad bit light on me. I'm just going to mix it out with my, let's use this, my ColourPop foundation. And in that, I am in the shade 120W. I'm just gonna mix it and apply it on my face. It just wears for the whole day. And that's what I really love about this foundation. I just blew dry my hair. I know it's a mess. Try to ignore that. Okay. I'm just gonna buff it right into my skin. Oh my god, a lot has happened this week in the makeup industry with the new makeup releases. I know I just did like a will I buy it kind of a video. Now I do film these videos in like on like Saturday, Sundays, but just because I don't get time on the weekdays at all to record a video. And a lot has happened. The day that I actually recorded the last video is when Natasha denona sneak peeked her I Need a Nude eyeshadow palette. 1 week is gone and it leaked. It was bought into the market. It got launched. I purchased it. So a lot has happened already. I couldn't wait. I just couldn't wait for that palette. Like I know it's gonna be like a basic color story with like notes, but I feel like with neutral palettes, I trust Natasha denona a lot. Okay, now for the concealer, I'm just gonna go with my concealer, a Milani Conceal and Perfect Concealer, right underneath the eyes. And this one is in the shade 145, warm beige. Just right there around my mouth. I do have a little bit of pigmentation there. Sorry for the sun. Like I have sun coming in, if you can see like sunlight. The time when I started recording, there was no sun. But currently I can see a bit of sun coming in. I'm just melting it down with my foundation brush for the rest of the face. And for underneath the eyes, I'm gonna take this Laura Lee brush. And this one is in the style L24. I love the slant that this brush has. And it's a little bigger too as compared to the BK Beauty brush that I always use. I'll show you the size. There you go. This is the size reference. This is BK Beauty and this is Laura Lee. Considerably big, but I like how flexible it is, how easily it can go underneath the eyes. And you can also use this like a cream blush brush. Like any cream product, I feel like it'll sit really, really nicely on this brush. Now I'm just going to set my under eyes. I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury powder and I'm going to take my powder puff. Just take that on it, on the back of my hand, and then just start stamping it in. Apart from that, there were so many other launches. There was M Cosmetics blush launch. Is it a powder blush or a cream blush? It's a hybrid formula that blends gel, cream and powder. So that seems interesting. Definitely nothing heard of. We either know like I think it's like a cushion blush, which I am super, super intrigued. But currently not in the lookout for a blush right now. But will I be interested? Absolutely. Just because I love M Cosmetics blushes. Actually, any product that I've tried from M Cosmetics, I've absolutely loved. So I do not doubt that this is also going to be absolutely amazing. I just love everything that they make. I'm going to take a big fluffy brush with the same powder, Charlotte Tilbury powder. I'm just going to run it all across my face. Just like that. For the bronzer, I'm gonna take this Makeup by Mario bronzer, and this one is in the shade medium dark. I'm gonna take it on Rephr number 5. Yeah, Rephr number 5, and I'm just gonna place that on my cheekbones. I really, really love the shade of this bronzer. It warms me up really nicely, but it's not orange by any means. It gives me a good warmth. Like I definitely can contour and bronze up with this shade. If you've not seen, this is how the shade looks. Really, really nice. I really love it. And especially for this latte look, I really want a good warmth to my face. The M Cosmetic blush that I was talking about is just $26, which is a good price point, especially for like nowadays. Like all of it is so expensive. So I thought that for that price point, I think they did a really, really good job. Whenever I can definitely see myself purchasing that product whenever I'm placing the next order from M Cosmetics. The next thing is the highlighter. I'm going to use my Makeup by Mario highlighter in the shade Golden. You know how much I love this. And the next thing that is been released in the market, is it been released or is it going to be released? It's on August 27th, these would be released, and this is from Jaclyn Cosmetics, and she is coming out with glazed luminizer. So basically like a cream highlighter, and it totally makes sense for Jaclyn's brand. She's the first person that comes into my mind when I think of like, you know, highlighters and stuff, because I feel like she does it really, really good. And she has like different shades also to choose from. She's coming out with like 5 shades in her line, and again I can see myself picking one up, not this second, but in the coming future for sure. I don't know the prices or anything on it, but I feel like for me, I'm Radiant would be the best match, like shade wise. By the way, this one, the Makeup by Mario highlighter, is in the shade Golden, which, you know, I love. Look at that, glazed donut. Okay, I'm just gonna give it a good spritz on my face. I'm using my Catrice Prime and Fine Glowing Setting Spray. Let it sit for a second, and then we'll go on the blush. This is actually a Temu blush. I really love the color of this, and this is La Mila Color Geometry. This one, I don't even know what's the shade. I'm going to use that blush. I really, really love that blush. It's a very unique shade in my collection, and I generally use this with any neutral looks that I'll do, because I feel like it just complements that really, really well. Like it gives definitely like a subtle color, but stays in that neutral family. Really love it. Now for the eyes, I have a bunch of things in front of me for a latte eye look, just because I want to use everything. But obviously you don't need to. I'm just priming my eyes with Alter Ego eye primer. I really love this product. You know that. I do have a code with Alter Ego, Smithy Sony, to save you 10% off on anything that is there on their website. I'll link everything in the description box below for you guys. So the eyes are primed and ready for the eyeshadow. Okay, I'm going to first start off with the cream, and I feel like Patrick Rose Dimension 2 palette comes in very handy for me, always, always. So I'm going to start off with this deep brown cream shade, and I'm going to take it on a BK Beauty A501 brush. I really love that for creams. I'm going to take a tad bit on my brush, and I'm going to start off on the outer corners. Just like that. You can see how chocolatey and brown it is. I really love that one. And you can easily blend this like all across the eyelid. And I just love this tone so very much. And I'm gonna take that on my lower lash line too. Just like that. I'm just going to tilt the brush and start blending the edges. And you can see how effortlessly this thing just blends. Just like that. Like you have a good groundwork already laid. I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye too. While I'm doing this, let's also talk about the new Patrick Major Dimension 3 palette. Since I'm using the Major Dimension 2 palette, I feel like it's super apt to talk about it. If you guys know me, I have had a benchmark of buying 10 palettes for this year, and Patrick palette was definitely in my radar to see like what he's gonna buy, because you know how much I use this palette in my everyday life. And I was like, yeah, I love his eyeshadows. I definitely would love to see what he gets. And I was thinking that he is gonna get something very similar to Natasha Denona I Need a Nude eyeshadow palette. Why I love his palette is the mattes are undoubtedly absolutely beautiful to blend. His shimmers have a beautiful twinkling effect on the eyes. As soon as you are like applying his shimmers on the eyes, it feels expensive. It feels like sophisticated, but like elegant, but dimensional at the same time. I really love his formula. And I love his creams too, as you can see. Like I always use those creams. I generally go for like that mauve tone cream. You can see like a big dip in that mauves, just because you can see those dips, right? Like, because I use it all the time, and I really love his formula. But when I saw, and I'm saying this with a passion, like when I saw his Major Dimension 3 palette reveal, I was like, what the crap? Like, I was waiting for this, and I felt like a lot of people, I did like a poll on Instagram too, just to see if I'm the only one who's feeling like that or not. And that's not the case. I'm going to take this brown shadow. And that's not the case. I felt like everybody was asking the same question, like, why all matte? Because the palette that he's coming out with is like an all matte eyeshadow palette with, again, like two cream shades. So these two cream shades are like a deeper brown and a black, and all these shades he has like 10 matte eyeshadow with neutral color story. Obviously I'll pop a picture on the screen for you guys. And when I saw that, I was like, why will I need it? I don't have the Major Dimension 1 palette, which is a neutral palette with like brown tones. But I immediately got this rosy tone eyeshadow palette because obviously I am into mauves and roses, and I really would like this. And I'm grateful that I got this. Like, I'm super, super happy that I purchased this palette, because this is definitely one of the palettes that I use all the time on me. But this Major Dimension 3 palette, I mean, if you have the Major Dimension 1 palette, you have all the warm tone shades of this Major Dimension 3 palette in that palette. And then the cool tone side has a bunch of like gray black shades. Now he's giving us a black shade, and he has a black matte shade, and then he has like a charcoal gray black shade. How many shades of gray black do we need? He could have easily given me 4 shimmers. I'm not even asking for like more, like 4 shimmers in that palette, and I would have got it. Just because I love his formula so much. Even if he had like just put this same like matte color story, like neutral color story, I would have still got it. But I feel like Patrick Ta, with the talent that he has, he could have easily done like, you know, muted color story, but with colors, you know, and people would really get it, just because we all know how talented he is, how beautiful of a makeup artist he is. But when I saw like an all matte palette, it was an easy pass for me. I'm not going to ramble a lot about it, just because it is a pass for me. I'm not going to buy it unless it's like in a super, super, super discount. I'm not gonna buy it for $70, like an all matte palette. I'm not gonna buy it. And especially when Natasha Denona got the I Need a Nude eyeshadow palette, and then I have this palette of him. I have a lot of neutral eyeshadow palettes, but again, if you are into matte, you're not going to be disappointed at all. And if you do not have, especially if you do not have a lot of eyeshadow palettes like me lying around you, you're going to love his mattes. It's no doubts at all. I personally was looking out for his eyeshadow palette, and I definitely was disappointed to see that palette. I would have loved to see some like moody, muted tones from him. I feel like that was missing. Anyways, there's always 2024. If I'm around, I'll still be eyeing you, Patrick Ta. But for this year, I'm going to pass on to you. Now, I feel like for the holiday launches, especially from the mainstream brand, I'm just eyeing out for Huda Beauty, because I already got the Natasha Denona palette that I was eyeing, and I just wanted to see if she's getting like a super colorful palette or like a neutral palette for an everyday look. You know how much I love my Dream palette. I use it constantly. It's just staying on my vanity all the time. So yeah, it was not hard for me to like think whether I need the Natasha Denona palette or not, because as soon as she sneak peeked that palette, I was like, that's coming to me for sure. Okay. Now, since we have those like brown tones already on the eyes, let's move on to the next release that I was eyeing. Yes, I want to talk about these concealers. There are 2 concealers that are running all across the internet. Haus Labs concealer, actually 3 concealers. Tower 28 concealers, as well as Makeup by Mario concealers. Reading about the description of all these concealers, I feel like I would like the Tower 28 concealers the most. If you want to see that in action, do let me know in the comment section below. I'll definitely get it. You know how much I love like religiously my Milani Conceal and Perfect concealer. I just love that concealer. I feel like that just blurs out everything. So do I need it? Not really. But would I enjoy it? Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah, let's actually take a little bit of this, okay? But although this is like a cooler tone color story, but I feel like we'll still love the effect of it. I'm going to take Brownie as well as this black shade just to deepen it out a little bit. I'm going to start with Brownie because I definitely need a little more depth. Yeah. See? That just made the difference. I love it. This is Glaminatrix Sugar and Spice palette. I have multiple looks using this palette on my channel. I'll link it in the iCards above for you guys. I also do have a code with Glaminatrix, and it's Smithy Sony to save you 10% off. This is another palette that just stays on my vanity for an everyday look because of the tones. Like, look at this. This is like pastels, interesting shimmers, or your neutral tones, everything in one palette. And I love the quality. of this palette. Yeah, that just gave me what I wanted. By the way, I just dipped into that brownie shade, nothing else. I'm just gonna go back into that brush that I applied my Patrick shade with and just blending the edges, just because I don't want to lose the chocolatey brown shade that we applied, but I also wanted a little bit of depth. Okay, now I'm gonna take this shade Brulee from the palette, this one, and I'm just gonna take that on my inner corner and then just melt it down in the inner part of the eye, and this would give me the brightest of the eyeshadow, like the brightness that I'm looking for, especially in the inner part. And I'm just going to take the same shade, not all across the eyelid, but on like the underneath my brow bone, just to melt everything together. It's like a blending shade for me. And this will smoothen out everything that I have going on the eyelid. My younger one is watching TV and he's laughing out loud. I can hear him from here. Okay, I'm looking for a little bit more of a warm tone brown. I feel like I'm gonna dip into the Sun and the Sea palette from Bella Beaute Bar. Oh my god, why was that a tongue twister? I feel like I'm gonna take the shade Sunbathe and Tan Lines. I'm gonna start off with Sunbathe, just like that, and just tap it right there in the center to melt that deeper brown shade. I don't want any harsh lines. I just want like a smooth blend. I don't even know if you guys can see that, you know, that gradient happening. Maybe you're like, Smithy, why are you dipping into like 3 different palettes for a simple brown eye? You don't need to. I love eyeshadow and I love these palettes. So I know what tone of brown to use. I know exactly where to dip. Okay, I'm gonna take this Sunbathe and Tan Lines together because that would give me the exact tone of eyeshadow that I'm looking for, and this blends in seamlessly with that Sunbathe shade right there. Can you see that? I love that. That's how I'm going to keep this eye. I'm just going to take that Sunbathe shade on my lower lash line too. I know, Smithy, are you doing an all matte look? You bet I am. You bet I am. But I'm going to take a little bit of shimmer in the inner corners. You know me. You know me. Okay. So I'm going to take this shade Nutmeg from the Glaminatrix palette because that's an outstanding shimmer. I'm going to take that a tad little bit. It's a very twinkling shimmer. I'm going to take that right there. Can you see that? It's a very like sophisticated twinkling shimmer. I really love that. Like you can do this sweepy sweep or across the eye. I mean, I'm tempted to do that. I'm really tempted to do that. Should I? Just a little bit, okay? Just a little whisper of shimmer. Just like that. Just to give a little bit sparkle and shine. Otherwise, how is it going to be a Smithy look without a little bit of sparkle and shine? Just a little. I am not doing anything much, so don't come out for me. Smithy, you said all matte eye. It's almost an all matte eye, okay? Okay, I'm going to finish off this eye with some liner and mascara, maybe some lashes, and we'll come right back. Okay, I finished off my eyes with some liner and mascara. I avoided the lashes. My mascara did the job of the lashes. I used my Anastasia Beverly Hills mascara and I used my Break the Proof liner by Wet n Wild. Now, I also completed my lower lash line with this Colourpop eye pencil cream gel liner in the shade Mr. Bing for that chocolatey brown effect. Now, let's finish off the lips. I feel like it needs to say without even like thinking. I'm going to take my KKW Beauty lip liner. Look how tiny this is now. This is Nude 2.5. My eyes are watering. I don't know why. I don't want to mess it up. Okay, I love the way how these eyes turned out really, really well. Okay, Nude 2.5. There you go. I'm utilizing the every last bit of it. And for the lipstick, I'm going to take this Milani Matte Fetish lipstick in the shade Tease, which is like a very neutral nude shade. And mixed with that lip liner, it creates a very, very beautiful, effortless nude lip. And that's all for Latte makeup. Let me give you a close-up on how everything looks. I really, really, really love the way how this turned out. And I love how effortless and how elegant this looks. Like this latte makeup trend is like an everyday trend for me. I really, really love it. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this too while talking through the new makeup launches that are coming in the market. But yes, if you did like this video and if you like to see like more challenge videos, do let me know which kind of challenge videos do you want to see me trying next. But yes, if you did like it, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.